Should now.
Yeah. Since it was unplugged.
I love it. 7 people, no sound. Thank you, Laura, Loy, Scott, Victoria, Donna, and who else?
And I was happy too. They didn't catch my happy mood because there was no sound. What the heck? Man.
See, that's what happens. You weren't cheerful, and you unplugged this on me. Yeah, I'll get him. He's calling me grumpy.
If I would have known where the plug is, you're absolutely right. I would have pulled the plug.
I have some sunflowers for you.
They've been there for weeks. Come on.
They're still for you.
Yeah, gee, thanks.
Yeah.
I'll take them with me when I go.
So how was your weekend there?
No, can't complain.
Mr. Lash?
Can't complain.
No?
No.
What did you do?
Watch basketball.
Oh, yeah. And the UConn Huskies, they
did a good job the other night.
Yeah, they're not going to lose to San Diego State.
You don't think they're going to do?
No, they're already favored by 12.
San Diego State?
No.
Oh,
UConn.
Oh, UConn.
Actually, no, it was 7.5. 7.5.
But San Diego State's a 5 seed.
Yeah.
And UConn's what, a
4.
4, yeah.
Well, that's as far as the seedings are concerned, that's pretty even, Stephen. You know, but I think I saw the line there. They're favored by 7.5, but then they predicted the final score. There was a bot, an AI.
Yeah.
It was UConn 72, San Diego State 60.
Well, they've actually beaten teams by 10 or by double figures.
Every one of them.
Yeah. So
every one of them.
Yeah.
Would they do blow out Gonzaga by like 28?
Yeah. So
wasn't Gonzaga the 3 seed?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're.
Yeah. I watched the women's game yesterday. Some of it.
I'm surprised Iowa got dumped.
Well,
that player that they have.
Yeah, they rely on the one player. I mean, she can shoot threes almost from half court. I think they said her average 3-foot range is like 25 feet, which is way beyond the 3-point line. But I just think they rely so much on her to score. The other ones didn't appear to score too much, and then there was foul trouble again. And then there was, and then there's a controversy now between an LSU player and Clark. It was just walking around showing her ring finger. So now there's controversy going on about that.
What does that mean?
Well, she was antagonizing her during the game because LSU was up. So she kept coming up to Clark and showing her ring finger.
Well, what would that mean?
They're going to win the championship ring.
Oh, okay. See, I'm naive when it comes to this.
Yeah, so that's the controversy now. But of course, Clark did it the other day in Louisville. So, yeah, whatever. It's the way sports are today.
Scott says Clark is all Iowa has.
That's it. That's unfortunate. But, I mean, she scored in the Virginia Tech game. She scored like 40-something points. Yeah. That's a lot of 40-something points in a freaking game like that. It's like, wow. It's like she kept boom going in. No matter what she did, they went in. This time, against LSU, no, she just didn't happen. I mean, she got some points, but not to the level she did in the previous game. So, but they rely on her heavily, unfortunately.
So let's take a look at sport. We're going to continue with sports because we have Billy Kane coming in, who's the head coach of the Griswold baseball team in his second year of head coaching. So we're going to talk to him a little bit. Their first game is today against Wheeler. It's going to be at home. We're going to have that game.
Oh, you are?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Myself and the merch.
Oh.
Will be there carrying the game live. So that will start at 4:00.
Yeah. Well, I think
we'll be there. We'll be on the other 3:45.
I think the temperature's like at 50.
I heard 60s, but Either
Well,
way,
with the wind blowing, you may not feel.
still going to be a little damp though, because
I think tomorrow's afternoon rain. It's kind of a showery week, I
Mhm.
guess. Yeah.
Hey, Coach Lake, Tim Lake in here, who's Billy's assistant, says Caitlin Clark was all class. If you listen to her post-game presser, the LSU player Angel Reese was classless. And that must have been the girl you were talking about that was showing the her ring finger,
there's pros and cons about Reese, whether it was classy or not. I mean, do you think
Mhm.
she should have? She was antagonizing her during the game. She was following her around and showing her the ring finger because LSU got up by a lot. And,
that wasn't cool.
I mean, players are players. What are you going to do? But then Clark the other day was walking around. She was like when they played Louisville, she knew they were up and she was trying to raising her hands and do I hear you? Putting your ear up like this. So I guess it's one thing deserves another. Then I think she got a technical foul put on her too because she did something, but then another player did something and didn't get a technical foul. So everybody complains about the referees. Yeah. So and I guess Dawn Staley was complaining about because they got beat by Iowa, and I guess a comment was made by the Iowa coach that it was going to be like a bar brawl to play him because, and I think she was referring to the inside game that LSU had because of Reese. And then Dawn Staley got all upset because she was complaining that we're not bar brawlers and we're not this and we're not that after they lost. And I don't think the coach from Iowa was referring to anything being physical. She was just saying it was going to be a brawl to get the inside game.
Inside, very
inside
physical game.
Yeah. So
well, it's not the first time something has been taken out of context, right?
Now Staley, I think she's
Staley.
Or
Staley.
Yeah, so Dawn Staley. Yeah. No.
Who did she play for?
She lost, so that was.
Who did Staley play for? South Carolina?
I don't remember.
No.
She's the coach of South Carolina. But
but who did she coach for? That's probably where I'm getting.
She
coached.
who
she played for?
I don't remember who she played for.
Tennessee?
Yeah, she played for who?
Was it Tennessee?
I don't think so. I don't think she was Tennessee.
All right. So anyway, continuing with sports, baseball today, game number 1 of the season, Griswold and Wheeler. So that's pretty exciting stuff. Because we just had a great basketball season, and now we're zoom right into to baseball. So I'm anxious to talk to Coach Kane here to see what's going on with the team and what we can expect, or what he feels that we can expect for the 2023 season. So, before we, because we're going to be talking more baseball in a few minutes when he gets here. But how about this? It's the end of an era. An end of an era, Paul.
What's the end of the era?
Many people are fans of. Used to be the WWF.
Oh.
And now it's the WWE.
Oh. They went from F to A. They
dropped a long time ago.
Oh.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh.
But CNBC broke it yesterday. I mean, anybody that, follows the whole wrestling game, knew this was, probably going to happen. The WWE and Vince McMahon have sold their company.
Oh.
To a company called Endeavor.
Oh.
Now, but here's the kicker. Endeavor is the same company that owns the UFC.
Oh. Okay.
So they made it official this morning. So right after WrestleMania, huh? What do you know about that, Zuzu?
Well, you kind of wonder, they're all getting up in age. McMahon himself, the old man, is
77.
Plus his wife, she's not young.
Oh, I don't know if there's a Linda McMahon much anymore after all of those allegations of hush money payments
Yeah.
to women that he supposedly, hey girl, hey,
Yeah. Oh,
you didn't know about that? Oh
no,
yeah,
I didn't realize
millions in hush dollars.
That sounds familiar.
Uh-huh.
Is there some guy going to New York today? Same problem, hush money.
Hush puppies.
Oh, gosh.
Well, yeah, he
Well,
and he had to reimburse the company for it too.
Oh,
So I don't think Linda
took
McMahon
took it out of the voucher, huh?
Yeah, I'd like the rest on the gift certificate, please, Pat.
Oh, well,
I don't think there has been much to do with Vince and Linda in a long time.
Well, hey, time to get rid of it.
So
Yeah,
but the thing is that you have fans that have been fans of the product for many, many years, many generations, right?
Yeah.
And then of course you get, the people go, oh, did you know it was fake? Yeah, no kidding, Captain Obvious, but it's fun. It's a story. That's all that it is. It's just a bunch of stories. If you realize that, then you can just sit down and have fun instead of mocking it, because you're watching Quidditch.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but it's wondering if it's like, what's going to happen to the product.
I don't think anything's going to happen to the product. I think it'll stay the same. It's just different owners. I mean, why would they change it? The wrestlers are still going to be there.
Right. But they are going to bring, what happens? They bring in their own people. New companies come in and
they bring in their own management people.
Well, apparently McMahon is going to stay on
For now.
as the executive director of WWE, the WWE portion of Endeavor.
Yeah.
But who knows what's going to happen with the? All right. So let me ask you a question, Paul. If you purchased a beverage company, would you be buying the company and sit back and go, "Yep, gonna leave it just the way that it is because it's great." No, you're gonna have your own vision, right?
Yeah,
right.
But
like somebody told me one time, like not that this was ever a thing. They said if you're ever gonna run for public office, make sure that you think or feel that you can do something better than the person that's in there now. Otherwise, what are you doing? Right. So,
I think they realize they're buying the product because they know the product is successful. I don't think they're going to change the product. I think the whole management team is going to be gone. And as far as McMahon himself, he's not going to be around for long.
No, well, he's 77.
Yeah, they did that. It's just satisfy him.
So,
it's part of the deal.
Jeffrey Batman Blaman, who's the owner of the Ideal Skate Shop in Norwich.
Yeah.
Central is I get the two roads mixed up. I believe it's Central. And he goes, I remember the WWF had an event at the Rose Arch as a kid in the 1980s. Well, Jeff, you're right. They had a few. Matter of fact, I remember one like it was yesterday. My dad took me to it, and it was under the big tent, and it was unbelievably packed. And we had like third or fourth row. And I can tell you this is that Andre the Giant was supposed to show up but couldn't make it.
Yeah.
So they ended up having an autograph session where you literally stood in line and you got autographs from like Chief Jay Strongbow, Ted DiBiase, McMahon. They were all they weren't happy about it, but they did it.
Yeah.
So, but they were doing it because, wrestlers couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Or one in particular, the big draw couldn't make it. So they did something else. So.
Yeah. No, I think wrestling back then was very popular. Now, I remember watching wrestling on Saturday afternoons.
It's more popular than it is ever been.
Yeah. Killer Kowalski and Andrew, the Giant guy there. And
Andrew? Or Andre?
Yeah, I think it's Andrew. Andre, whatever the hell it was. Yeah.
Andre Russo.
Kowalski had that, the claw, whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah. But I think everybody in their lifetime watches wrestling at one time.
Sure. Well, it's
Yeah.
more popular than ever. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
they had WrestleMania the last 2 nights,
Yeah.
and they had over 80,000 people in the stands both nights.
Yeah. So
Taylor Swift ain't doing that.
I don't watch it anymore.
What?
I just don't watch it.
No, it's because maybe you either grew out of it or it's not your thing anymore. It's not riveting or whatever. If you it's kind of like anything that you watch. Like what's that show you like?
Yeah.
The
But I
Western.
tell you, I mean,
I was right in the middle of a question. Now you're going to zip
no,
off
but,
into
but
something
you were
else.
saying something. But then I was trying to go and say that a lot of them have to be very skilled, because if you're jumping up and down in the commercials where they land on these people, you know damn well they ain't hurting them. That's got to be a technique that, if you're jumping up off of the ropes and you're jumping up on your lid on the guy's gut, I mean, you got to break that fall somehow so you're not killing the guy that you landed on.
Yeah, there is a certain amount of ballet to this,
so they don't hurt one another. Really?
Not 80 grand, Scott. Matter of fact, I know my daughter's going to the one in the Meadowlands, but they haven't hit 80 grand. Fight me. And plus the people that don't like wrestling or whatever, they will fight it to the day they die. Everything else is better. But there was one match last night that I would invite you to watch. You sit here and you're saying, "Oh, it's all fake and they're not hurting each other." So here, this is what I would tell you is that, is it fake? No. Is it predetermined and scripted? Yes. They had what they called a triple threat match last night with 3 guys which are known to work what they call stiff.
Mm-hmm.
Working stiff means they're really hitting you, so it looks realistic. Each one of them their whole chests were busted open from taking shots. And let me tell you something. These guys were throwing them. There was no fake about it.
No.
And it was pretty amazing.
No, they keep themselves in good shape too.
But still, if your whole chest is looking like Hamburg, and busted open because let's see. Okay, so now I've got to look. Because the challenge. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Who's going to win? Is it going to be Air Fryer or Scott Fryer?
Oh, boy.
He's challenging me on
boy.
On the thing with all right, hold on. Gonna find out right now. What is the largest attendance for Taylor Swift in 2023?
I don't know.
Here's what I found.
69,000 people.
And those are the ones that could get tickets from Ticketmaster.
69,000, and which beat Madonna's record of 63,000. So there you go. So is it 81,000? It is not.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. How you doing? Have a seat right next to the happy guy.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Hey, get that out of the way.
The Grinch.
You're a mean one.
Be
Mr.
careful.
Grinch. Oh, stop it, Paul. We're not. He's kidding too. Jesus. God. And let's move this over so we can get Billy in the screen there. There we go. What's up, Billy? How are you?
Good.
Are you ready for another season?
I'm excited. I'm always excited now.
So this is season number 2 for you.
Griswold, yes.
Yeah. So let's recap last year. How did it go? Did it play out the way you wanted it to play out?
Of course, it didn't play out the way we wanted to play it out. But we had a lot of injuries. I think a lot of times people don't understand how important it is to have pitching. So when you lose your best pitcher to injury, that really messed up Evan Gildenbach. And he was the team leader, he's the team captain. So how could he elevate everyone else? He was disappointed in himself. Half the year he batted under 200.
Yeah, he had a tough year at the plate. Yeah,
he had a very tough year. So a lot of pressure on him. And that trickles down. We didn't have the best talent for seniors. I felt coming in like it was I was trying to do right by everybody. If I had to play it over again, and Tim, said, we should have been playing the younger guys, right from the get-go. Once we figured out, we weren't going to, amount to anything.
Weren't going to contend.
Yeah, we weren't going to contend. We had, listen, the Plainfield game was huge for us. We went in there, we won. We were on such a high. And, and then Evan got hurt. And I'm telling you, that set the tone for everything. No different than a major league team losing their number one starter,
Right.
So no number one bat and no number one starter. That's tough for a small school.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You got to understand, a lot of these schools, I was talking to Phil Orby, who
down in New London.
Yeah, he runs the ECC baseball tournament. And I was saying I love how they do it for basketball, 2 different divisions, because a team like Griswold's, teams like Plainfield's,
Wheeler,
Turtelot, Wheeler, we can't compete against East Lyme, NFA, Fitch.
Waterford.
They got 3 times the amount of boys that we do. We had this year, we had 17, 18 boys try out. And, unfortunately, 2 of them hadn't played baseball in, 8 years.
A long time.
Yeah. So it's tough. So I think the biggest thing for me learning from last year is understanding not so much expectations, but understanding that a lot of these kids don't play baseball all the time. And I think that's very difficult. Go play golf and, play the whole year and then take off a year and see how that bodes. It's tough.
I've never played golf and I would be awful at it. I can't even miniature golf, man. It's bad.
Well, listen, with football, right? We got athletes, right? Griswold has athletes. So football and basketball, athletes. Baseball, we have athletes. However, it's a hand-eye coordination thing. Hitting a baseball is not easy. And if you haven't done it in a while, it's tough. If you don't work on it during the off season, or even in the beginning, first week of tryouts, arms hurting. You know what I mean? Because they haven't thrown. So I think that's when we talk about changing the culture, is like getting the kids a little bit more involved. And I think that worked, because Tim now has, I think, 4 or 5 of our players going to be playing with the Crush this year.
Now the Crush is an AAU travel team.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So they travel.
Just for people that don't.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. And I think that's big. Playing some type of competitive baseball after high school is huge. The repetition. So I think that's why you're going to see a little improvement this year, is because guys like Sammy Gildenbach played Crush in the summer and fall. Colin Mitchell, same thing. He played for Shoreline Breakers, I believe. Sean played for the Hurricanes. Harden played for the Crush. So we have guys that, took it upon themselves to try to continue and get better. So
And not only that, but some of these kids even seek out, or their parents help them seek out, private training. And so, like Evan, I know, had some private training, and then who else? Harden. He goes to a camp, doesn't he, down in Mystic, or
maybe possibly?
And Sean,
I don't know. I know Sean works on his stuff.
Garvin?
Yeah, Sean works on his stuff. That's
I just talking about the dedication,
it's huge. But the big one thing my buddy said to me from Ellis Tech last year, because he knew how disappointed I was, right? Because I was expecting so much from these guys. He said, you got to understand, for half these kids, it's a hobby, and that put it in perspective for me, saying, hey, listen, not everybody loves baseball like you do. You know what I mean? Like, me and Tim live, sleep, breathe baseball. You're talking about 100+ games a season we would do from spring to fall. A lot of those kids haven't even played that full amount
in their life.
Yes. So I got to put that in perspective. But the good thing about this year, I believe, is now my core group is still here, right? Sean, Colin, Cade, and Drew. They know what to expect from me. They know last year, okay, it's the new guy. Like, were the seniors buying in? I don't believe they were, and that's a tough thing because they've done it so long for 3 years. Now they got a new guy telling them how to do it, right? So fresh start this year. My main guys know what me and Tim expect out of them, and I think that's going to go a long way. We've seen some kids step up. Again, we're dealing with injuries again already. Caden was projected to probably be our third baseman, and he's out with an arm injury, and he was getting an MRI, I think, today or tomorrow.
Rubino? Kate Rubino?
No, Caden Descus.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah. So, it's hard to project things when you got injuries, So, but I think we're on the right path. I think we've had some good practices. We had a tough scrimmage a few days ago. But they played well. Our objective was to pitch a pitcher an inning, every inning. So we weren't trying to win the game. We're just trying to give everybody some looks. So I think for the first 4 innings, we did well. Had we went in with our starter and tried to go all out for it, I think we would have won that game.
So as far as pitching is concerned, of course, you've got Sean Garvin coming back, or he's back.
Yep.
So what are we expecting out of Sean Garvin this year? I think the expectation's always been high for Sean,
All right.
even as a freshman.
All right. So let's put it in perspective, though. Sean's a great player, right? Great kid. But at the same time, he's still a kid, right?
Mhm.
So, he's not someone I'm looking to be my ace, to be honest with you. I'm looking at Colin Mitchell to be my ace. I need Sean to play shortstop. I can't have Sean throwing complete games and then trying to stick him back out at shortstop. The injury bug will that's not fair to Sean. So I expect Sean to be my two. I'm really looking for good defense for him. I don't know how well he pitched or how much he got to pitch in the summer. But I think either way, he's a competitive kid. And he loves the sport, which is the most important thing. So I think he'll be a leader. He batted I think he batted 500 last year.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting big things from him at the plate.
What about Gilgenbach?
Little Sammy.
Yeah.
Little Sammy.
On the mound.
Yeah, I think Sammy's going to get some innings on the mound. Sammy just got to work downhill. Sammy tends to lead the ball up in the zone that can get smacked around. But there's not a better competitor out there. I mean, so different from his brother. Not so much, talent. They're just two different kids, right? But Sammy is just like aggressive. And Sammy, when Sammy's in the huddle, he's there. So he goes all out. I definitely appreciate that from him.
So Scott Fryer just says influx of talent coming next year. You'll have some strong upperclassmen leadership as well.
Yeah, another year. Listen, I'm hoping. I heard you guys bring up the basketball. Lucas Strain decided to play baseball this year.
I heard that. Yeah.
Okay, so now that's extremely hard to do, and he's a phenomenal athlete, as we all know, right? But what I love from that is I'm hoping we can steal some of that leadership on the basketball team, and the adjustments the basketball team made from last year to this year was huge. Half court offense didn't really have it last year. This year they did. They played well together as a team. So I'm hoping Lucas, and I've said this many times in our huddle, I'm hoping Lucas can bring that together for us. You know what I mean? And the kids trust each other. The leadership thing I think is huge. So the incoming kids, that's going to be great. But you got to remind it, it's still freshmen. It's very hard to compete. But next year I'm hoping everybody gets a little bit stronger. And then think about Shawnee and Colin and Cade are seniors. Oh man, we should do some damage.
Next year?
Yeah.
How do you think you're gonna do this year? If you were in your heart of hearts.
God, I wish Tim was here for this question.
He's there. He's in the chat. At least he was. Maybe that's not really a fair question. I'm going to ask it anyway. What do you guys? How do you feel? Compared to say 2022.
I think we're a better team.
Okay.
Yeah, I have less bench moves
This year.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think with everybody growing and with everybody getting a little bit stronger, I said to one of our freshmen this year, is a little intimidated, so I'm not going to put his name out there. I was like, through pitchers and catchers, he said, you could tell he looked intimidated. I came up to him and I said, you all right? He's like, yeah, I said, listen, just because they're bigger and stronger, that doesn't mean anything. I said, that's going to be you in 2 or 3 years. I said, those small guys, I brought up Odo and, Calvin. I said, he wasn't that big last year. I said, and, everybody's going to get stronger. You're going to get stronger. So don't be intimidated. I want you here. I want you in this program. And I want you, if you're willing to learn and not worry about how much playing time you're going to get, but more so learn the game and take after some of these guys, I said, you're going to be all right. So, to answer the full question of how well we're going to do, listen, it all depends if we can take care of the baseball.
In perspective.
Hey, listen, if we can take care of the baseball, not make errors, and compound those errors into 4 or 5 runs, I think we're going to be all right. That's our biggest thing. We have to stay out of a bad inning. That's a big thing. So I think we can be, we should be over 500.
So last year, one of the things that I saw that was a problem mostly was the hitting.
Yeah.
A lot of the kids were just having a hard time hitting the ball.
Yeah.
How's that going to translate this year? Compared to last year. You say you're a better team and all, but I know a couple of kids that can hit the ball. Of course, Harden can hit the ball. One kid that I saw hit for power was Calvin Odo. He's not a big kid, but I saw him in a couple of games go long.
Where?
It was in Plainfield. It was actually during it was the Junior League All-Stars. And I understand the pitching is different, but still, he jacked
Listen,
it.
I like Calvin. Calvin got off to a rough start last year. He had a grades issue in the beginning, right? And he was going to win our second base job for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got behind on everybody else, so he had to make up for it. So he pressed a little bit. I have been trying to explain to Calvin he's going to be starting third base. He's our starting third baseman right now.
And that's due to really kind of because Descus got hurt.
Well, I don't know.
That's not fair to say.
That's not fair to say, because of, you can't project something. But I believe that Calvin is a good athlete.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, I just been trying to tell him, relax, settle down. He doesn't need to hit the ball a mile. He just needs to put the ball in play. That's our big thing because he's fast,
right.
And I truly believe he loves the game too. I know he played a little bit of travel ball probably after that junior league thing. That's what we were encouraging, playing the travel baseball, because we wanted to play high school equivalent pitching, and which the junior league is not.
Right. No, I knew that.
Yeah.
But just the fact that he hit the ball a long way.
They all can do that.
Especially,
you get pitching up, in the upper 70s, low 80s. It changes the story a little bit.
Yeah, I guess true. Any questions there?
No. Good luck in the season.
That's all you got for me?
Get that for me.
Let's bring it up last year. You weren't optimistic. I came in.
Let me just explain why.
Yeah.
You came in last year and you were really
absolutely.
You were promising a lot of stuff.
How could I not?
I know, because you were the first time coach. So I just told you better deliver. And I think you took it kind of like
I don't
like a punch in the face.
No, so
that wasn't my intention.
Well, no. So the delivery is to me is effort. So I'm giving effort.
Yeah.
I can't deliver what the kids could do. Yeah. Let's be honest. The kids play for themselves. The kids are the ones that they're responsible for their grades, not their parents. Right. So self accountability is huge. So when you said that to me, okay, yeah, I'm delivering. I'm the guy putting out all the new, the gear. I'm the one that changed the logos, which the school is using all over the place. I'm the one who decided to bring energy into the baseball program. You got to understand something. Only Tim and I think about the baseball program. Nobody cares about that field. We're the ones down there trying to figure out what we can do, beg, borrow, and stealing to get pitching mounds for the kids who are playing on makeshift mounds that were built in the 70s by whoever. You got to understand something.
Which is true.
These kids,
it's an old field.
So when we talk about things, and I listen to sometimes when I listen in, we talk about a new field, and I people are objecting it to it. These kids deserve that. These kids deserve what other schools have. This town should support the kids in the school. I mean, who wouldn't want better activities for the kids to be involved in? I mean, as opposed to being on the streets or whoever. I mean, that's a little thing that bothers me a little bit. So when you say deliver, I 100% have delivered. I've given more time and effort to those kids in my first year, and I can promise you, we out practiced other teams. We stayed longer. We sometimes had 4-hour practices.
Yeah.
That's giving up time. So if we talk about how much equivalent, how much money that I get paid or Tim gets paid to do this, I mean, it's pennies on a dollar. We're not even doing it for the money. We're doing it for the kids, and I'm doing it to revitalize the baseball program at Griswold.
I don't think anybody has anything against providing for the kids. I think the whole issue with the field had to do with the response that happened with the senior center. There was so much negativity by people against that senior center that I think it just came back to haunt them for the field, because it was a different group that wanted the senior center versus a different group that wanted the field. And I think it was, okay, you busted our ass, we're going to bust your ass.
I listen. I hear you.
I think that's what the whole issue was, a political thing that happened that caused this whole field.
Well, but let me ask you this question. And again, I don't live in Griswold anymore.
Yeah.
But is it smarter to provide the kids with opportunities in their hometown as opposed to the taxpayers paying for those kids to seek out other schools to go to?
Well, yeah.
Griswold has to pay money for every kid that goes to Killingly. I think that's
Yeah,
the biggest joke in the world.
Yeah. That's
So talk about the money that's being lost, I think is huge.
Yeah.
So these kids wanting to come to a program, I think it starts with the football program. The basketball had a successful season, but that's going to bring the name of Griswold back and make it relevant. And I think relevance is huge.
We were very relevant in the 70s and in the 80s when it came to sports, mainly basketball, football, but baseball. We had some studs out on the field back in the day. And it really hasn't, everything's kind of gone, because I think a lot of focus has been taken away as far as field conditions. And then they built a new school. Okay, what are we going to do with this? Well, we're going to put the field down here, behind the school, but we're still not going to do anything with the baseball field. We're going to leave it there. Paul, that's the same field that I played on when I played in senior league, which hasn't been called senior league, and I don't even know how long.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's junior league because it's right after little league. But I mean, we're talking crap, man. 79, 78 playing on that field. I used to go watch American Legion games with not Dave Blanchard, the teacher at Griswold, but his older brother, Mike, who was a left-handed pitcher. They used to live right next door, so I would go watch him play.
Yeah, and I think
the same field.
Yeah, well, listen, we're the only one that has a stadium field. I mean, that field with that backstop is amazing. Where people can sit in there and it looks like literally like a stadium field, and it wouldn't cost a lot of money to make improvements to it. And and personally, again, I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, which I usually do. But let's be honest. I mean, would it be different if the town maintained the fields like they do in East Lyme and they do in Waterford and all those things? I mean, I don't know. I don't know the situation. I don't know how it works. So I'm not trying to say one way or the other. But let's be honest. I mean, the field is not. It's not of an importance right now. It's just it's stuck in the valley. And I'll tell you right now, it makes a huge difference playing, because when a kid gets a ground ball and he doesn't know which way it's going to hop, and it hits him in the face, or you're running and then you're running into grass, and then you're running into dirt, and then you run into glass going to second base as a base runner. That's like, what?
It's dangerous.
Yes, it's very dangerous.
I don't think anybody disagrees with you. I think the problem is that because we have no money coming in, there's no money. It just gets put.
Well, it all revolves around economic development, Paul.
And there isn't
right.
any.
We get that.
And there isn't any.
Right. And I kind of wonder, do some of the baseball kids, do they feel a little left out, compared to the kids that do play football?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
100% they do.
Okay.
100% they do. Listen, Mike Gildenbach made some phone calls and got Bokier to roll the field. And that helped considerably. But if you actually ever walk that field and you see how many slopes are in there, I feel like we can name a mountain after after our baseball field. I'm serious.
Yeah.
It's very slopey, and that makes a difference when you're trying to play. Listen, you go to Plainfield, beautiful field. They redid it a few years ago. Beautiful field. Go around the ECC, and they got some good fields. And it doesn't take much to maintain it, but you just, you got to put a little effort into it. And I can't come out of my pocket all the time. I mean, I came out of my pocket a couple $1,000s last year.
Well, I mean, you look at that also the softball field. People say, well, why can't we do that? Well, that was Rick Aramoni.
You could.
Rick Aramoni and friends of Rick Aramoni with the softball field.
Can we put it in perspective?
Sure.
A softball field is very small.
It's small, right?
Okay, and they have a dirt infield. So you can constantly work that dirt infield. Ours is grass.
Yep.
So there's a huge difference. The sprinkler heads aren't down enough. So in spots, they can't be pushed down. The field can't be level. There's a huge difference to getting a softball field leveled versus an actual baseball field with grass.
Yeah.
Huge difference. So let's strip it. And I'll go out there with my 1972 tractor and I'll work around the softball field and the baseball field as well.
And that's about when I used to play on that field.
But
That's a long time ago.
I love the school. I love how Aaron. Listen, I told this.
Look,
to
we
Aaron,
both went there.
right? But I told Aaron during the basketball. The reason why I'm here is because of you. I'm not here because I need to coach baseball anymore. I've did everything that I wanted to accomplish. Got my kids in the school. I did everything I needed to do. I'm here because Aaron. She really promotes these kids and promotes this school so well, and her positivity and her energy, it literally runs through you. So when you see her posts online, her celebration of the drama club, of any sport, and everyone,
it's all genuine.
She celebrates that school, and that's what makes me want to be part of it. So yeah, am I rough around the edges? Yes. Do I speak my mind, Paul? Yes, I do. Am I confident? Yes, I am, because I've achieved things. So I want to take what I've accomplished and what Tim's accomplished and give that and feed that to the kids. There's nothing, that's all positive, but that energy that she brings is why I'm here, so if it makes people upset that I say things about the baseball field or I want more, I just think that I want more for the kids. That's all. It ain't more for me. It's more for the kids.
Tim, I have had this up for a while, but I want to read it to you. It says our goal is to change the baseball culture in Griswold. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. You have two coaches who are more passionate than anyone I know, but it has to be reciprocal from players, parents, town, and the school.
That's very true. That's very true.
I would, but to Paul's point, I'm more of a baseball fan than I am a football fan. If I'm just sit here and tell you, what am I gonna? If I was to choose, what I would watch would probably be a baseball game. Even there's so much stuff out there. People say, "No, it's so boring, it's so slow," and everything. I don't know. Baseball's just been a part of me since I was 7 years old, so it's always going to be that way. I get it when the kids, you hear about the kids. Well, what about the baseball field and stuff like that? But I have a hard time justifying it right now, especially when they're spending up to $3.8 million on a football field. Well, a multi-purpose field between football and lacrosse, track, and soccer. But I really wish they would do something for the baseball program too. Fryer just said, baseball will be the next upgrade if I'm still involved, meeting with the Board of Ed. I'm not knocking anybody, because you can only do what you can do. But
Would the cost be about $500,000 to fix?
I don't know. I wouldn't even venture a guess.
Bulldozers and topsoil and grass. And
Well, I'll be honest,
much to it.
Paul, to be honest with you, what I was trying to advocate, which I knew I was way too late on it coming in, I was probably a year late into this project, but they should have used turf at the same time they were turfing the football field and just turf the infield. That's all we would need to do, because you have the grass in the outfield at the Branford Sportsplex up in obviously Branford. They had all skinned infields because they played softball on them, and they turfed just the infields and left the dirt. So I've had it installed at my facility. So I know the idea of what it would cost. And had we just added it on, it would have been a little, it wouldn't have been as much because the people are already here. And the size of the diamond, that's all we would need. We don't need any more than that. We just need a flat infield.
Drainage.
Yeah.
Drainage. It rains a little bit. You can put a koi pond at shortstop.
Yeah. I mean, over time, listen, Steve does, he tries to get us dirt. He tries to get us in there, but it really just needs a full, it needs to be tiered properly. We were just talking about this the other day. Our mound's got our second base mound in the plate don't line up. So, things just gotta, and listen, I think Steve's trying, but
and he can only do what he can do as well,
but I have to push and complain just to keep it going and make it relevant. I'm not going to give up.
So here's something. I think this is a good conversation, but it's going to come from two separate buckets. Jared says the Jewett City Little League complex is the next upgrade. We need it. I agree, but that's
private, right?
That's private. That's not
Private.
coming from town funding
No.
at all. So do I agree with Jared? Yeah,
Don't they
but
have-
it's not going to. There's not going to be a referendum. There's not going to
No.
be, for the town. So that's something that I would talk to the Little League board about.
Don't they have donations that they got for that thing? There's somebody who set up a fund.
Well, there's always fundraising,
But wasn't there
for
a
it,
fund
but-
originally that built that field? Somebody left money.
Whiteley.
I don't know who.
Yeah, it's Whiteley Field.
Yeah.
But that was also probably 25, 30 years ago.
I don't know.
The way it was redesigned. What I would do is I'd probably talk to Trish Clark, over at the Little League field and see if there's anything that they can do. But that's a private thing. That's
a
not.
private thing.
Yeah, that's not a borough of Jewett City thing. They're their own organization.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. What we need, it's not on the subject of that baseball. We need to do. We need to get some more baseball people, baseball minded parents, which we do. We got, Dave Drobiak is coaching. Jeff Rook is coaching, and their kids are younger, so they're coming up to the system. So we just need more people like that involved. And then as they get competitive, coming up to 7th and 8th grade, they need to not play less competitive games. Enter in the Wart to Shore. Enter in a few, tournaments competitively to get these kids to understand what it's like to compete against other towns. Because I'll be honest with you, I umpired this year. I became an official umpire, and I was watching the junior high school Killingly team play. I forget the name of their team now, but they have a group of Plainfield and Killingly kids that play in the Wart to Shore tournaments, and then they go up to Killingly. So they've got a little feeder program.
Mhm.
So that's what this town needs to do. It needs to happen for them to be competitive.
So what I have heard so far, and I don't know if you can comment on this or not, but so far as the 2023-2024 school year, there has been 0 kids that have applied to a VOAG program for next year, coming up from 8th grade.
Give it time.
Yeah.
We just had one transfer who was a baseball player, I believe, to Killingly, just midway through the basketball season. A freshman.
Okay.
It's
Really? Halfway through the year like that?
Yeah. I guess it might have been a parent thing. My parents might have
Yeah.
but I don't understand the situation. But it happens. I'm hoping this next group coming through. Listen, I'm talking to all the kids and trying to pump up the D'Amicos. Come on, we gotta play baseball.
Yeah.
Kiki, gotta play some baseball. Getting them all, excited. Hey, listen, kids are kids, and parents are gonna make their decisions. I just feel like with this new field, I think it'll help people feel like the town and the school are trying to stay relevant, and provide your kids with something.
You just said it, relevant. Relevancy is key with all sports, in a town. How are people identifying Griswold outside of Griswold, Paul? We can sit here and go, oh, okay, well, heroin.
Right now.
Oh, okay, we can.
Right now, they're looking at the basketball team as the key.
That's 1 year.
I know, but I don't think people are looking at the town as anything. You think sports is bringing? You think that's highlighting people coming to town? Sports? I
Well,
don't think so.
maybe that's what we're trying to do.
Well, isn't doing it now.
Right.
Well,
But
it
it's going to
takes
take
time.
time to build a culture.
Takes
Yeah.
time. Takes
Like I
time.
said, back in the 70s when I was a part of this, it was huge. I mean, you had the Airmonies, you had the Drobiaks, you had Mike Walsh, you had all these guys that were, when you were in the crowd, they're doing their warm-ups. And now this is at the old middle school now, mind you. Okay. And you're sitting in the bleachers. Next thing you know, they're doing their warm-ups and they're like finger rolling it into the bucket. And everybody's going, whoa, like that, because they're thinking they're gonna dunk. Nobody dunked. But it was really, really cool. That's how much people were into stuff like that. People went to the baseball games. People went to the football games. People go to the football games now. But it's a culture that has to be rebuilt.
Paul, where are you from? You from here?
No. It's,
Bogier, I mean, he was a big part of that. Later on, trying to revitalize.
yeah. I mean, I think most important thing that they should be recognized, the school should recognize, is the educational part of what the school is. It's a beautiful campus. To me, it reminds me of going to a college campus.
Let me ask this question: are you aware of that? The back side of the school on the left side, kind of like when you drive into the football field. I heard that was there's garage bays there. It was an automotive classroom at one point in time where there's 2 garage doors and a.
You talking about like right in front of like the field, like if you're looking, the football field's here and then this way.
Yeah, it's like the side entrance to the school right there where the kids usually come out. Right there on the corner, right where the cafeteria is, like kind of right where the cafeteria is.
I don't know.
Somebody told me they had an automotive program and then it stopped.
I don't know. I can't say either way. I know they had wood shop years ago.
I think they still have a little bit of wood shop. I know they do some things.
They had Mr. Palumbo back in the day.
Man, wood shop was a big thing in high school years ago.
But we need something for them to,
Scott says, I know there's a whole lot of fresh dirt right now. Why can't they bring some over there?
So no, they've been putting some on the field, but it doesn't.
So they are giving you some.
They're giving us dirt.
Yeah.
But it doesn't level out the grass.
Yeah.
Go walk that. I mean, I don't know. You were there the other day setting up your cameras. You didn't watch some of the balls I was hitting. They were going left, right, and I'm hitting right at the kids. We don't have home field advantage.
Yeah.
It's definitely difficult. The hops on that field. And I think that's the thing that people who don't play baseball or versus they do play or they watch the softball. I'm like, oh man, the ball just goes right to the person. Yeah. We hit a baseball on our field and see where it goes. The kids have no idea. There's a few of them that got smacked in the jaw a few times, it's hard. It's hard to compete on that field. And it could be a beautiful field.
Used to be.
Yeah. I don't know who designed that backstop though. That's like 70 feet.
70
behind
feet
home plate.
behind. Yeah.
Yeah. That's tough for Drew.
Have you seen how much space is behind home plate?
Yeah,
It's like a whole new field.
I haven't been here in a while.
You should listen. You should. You're on the radio. You talk all the time about all the stuff that's going on at Griswold. Walk the baseball field. Come down. I invite you. We're opening up today at 4:00. Come see. You be my honorary guest. I'll introduce you.
Come on down. No, seriously, take a look.
Yeah, see the
I
field.
used to go there because my grandson used to play for Tech.
Yeah.
He would come here to play Griswold. So,
But until you walk the field, you can't get any idea. You can tell you some baseball guy just wants to spend everybody's money, but walk the field. A town should, have a nice baseball field.
I had the fortunate opportunity to coach fall ball for 1 year. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I had a really, really great season with the kids. Loved the kids, but he's spot on. I mean, just even like the lip, from the grass part to the dirt part and shortstop. It's like or skid, and hit you right in the face. He's right. I mean, I can't say that he's wrong at all. Then you got John Henn, who does what he can, but he's one guy.
Yeah, well, that's why I said that. Again, I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. I appreciate whatever John has done and is doing. He's supposed to be out there right now fixing our bases, which I hope he is for today's game. But he's one guy, so how can one guy be responsible for all that? That's hard. That's very hard, and I get it. But maybe, like I said, I wonder why the town doesn't take care of that. Take care of every other. I mean, why?
Well, if you say the town take care of it, if I'm somebody living on a road someplace and my road has been bumpy and holy forever, that person's more concerned about getting the road fixed than you worried about getting the ball field fixed. So,
They do it in East Lyme. They do it in Waterford. They do
well,
it
you
in
know, but they got money coming in. The problem is this town doesn't have any money coming in right now. You know, East Lyme's a pretty good sized town. They got money coming in all the time. We got nothing, and I think that's the biggest problem.
Yeah, but isn't it relative? I mean, they've got a police department and they're spending it too.
Yeah, but they got some money coming in from somewhere.
Yeah.
What do
Well,
we
I mean,
got? We
he's
got
Paul's
nothing.
right. We don't have anything coming in.
Nothing
There's
in. So
there's no
everything's-
prospect of anything coming in right now.
So it's on the back of all the residents.
so Miss, go ahead. How does Plainfield do it?
They have a lot of things coming in.
Plainfield has a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they're building like crazy out there, especially in the last 3 years, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you got Amazon. Sure, it hasn't opened up yet, but they're saying December
Well, even
2023.
when Emerson didn't open up, all the permits and building stuff they had to pay for to the town, you know, that all money went to the town. Even though they're not open, they're still paying the town taxes.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they get.
They've got a lot of
stuff from
industry
Plainfield.
there and warehousing.
Yeah.
You know, they do have some big industry, you know, some big stuff that'll help out a little town like that. Plus, they got 14,000 people
Yeah.
as opposed to, you know, like 10,500 or 11,000 people.
Yeah.
But Scott says, because they're taxpayers, welcome economic development.
Well, he's right, because it's always not in my backyard.
Yeah.
That's the problem with a lot of the residents in this town. They don't want it because, you know, somebody has a piece of property. We talked about this. We talked about a fake chicken crap farm. You know, we
People were buying it too.
People were buying it, and we're going to put chicken crap farm in the town of Griswold. Yeah, and people
Over in by Arrowhead too, over by the
Yeah.
Norman's farm.
Yeah, but
Yep.
that's the biggest.
They're going to sell
problem.
chicken shit.
That's the biggest problem.
It's going to
People don't like it.
smell like chicken shit.
Yeah, I mean, if I own the property, why are you telling me I can't do what I want to do?
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's what happens. People go to a zoning board meeting, and we can't have this. When the data centers were coming in, what do you think the biggest bitch was? Sound. I honestly didn't think all those computers inside that data center were going to make all kinds of noise. Okay.
Yeah, that's not
But that
even a
was the
joke.
biggest
That's
thing.
true.
People were bitching about sound, and there wasn't a cost to the town to have these things put in.
Wow,
Oh, Jesus.
that's sad.
Mhm.
But they're not coming back anymore. They're gone. That ends that.
And that was like free money.
Yeah.
That was free money.
That
It was a pilot program, you know, payment in lieu of taxes, and it was just, you know, they were going to pay depending on how much they were going to how much power consumption they were going to use.
Yeah.
Do you want to start lineup today?
I do. I was going to ask you. I was going to ask off Mike for that. But
Yeah,
absolutely.
So listen, so we got Cade Rubino. He's going to lead off playing left field. We got Corey Smith going to play center field for us, batting in the 2-hole.
I thought he was moving.
Thank God he didn't.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
He was our savior last year in the outfield. He was the only one who could catch a ball. Sean Garvin in the 3-hole. He's playing a short today. Drew Harden is catching in the 4-hole. Colin Mitchell is going to pitch. Sammy Gildenbach will be at first base. Calvin Odo in the 7-hole playing third. Jake Duthry at second, and Logan Davis in right field. So that's where we're at, and I hope to find a spot for Lucas to come in the game and pinch hit or pinch run and maybe raise some heck on the base paths, because that boy is fast.
He's very fast. Yeah.
He's very fast. So
and Coach Lake wants to know how important is it to have a good assistant coach? Why's it got to be about you, Tim?
Well, listen, I really think we have 2 head coaches. I mean, I'm be honest with you, Tim. I wouldn't have did this without Tim. He's the one who encouraged me to do it. And I believe with so much experience between the 2 of us, it's extremely important because he's my eyes and ears, and he is thinking what I'm thinking when he's over on first base. We think the same. He's a tiny bit more aggressive than me.
I have a hard time believing that.
No, on the base,
Really?
on the base bats.
Oh, on the base
man,
bat? All right,
on the
okay.
base bats. No, but being aggressive, different. Yeah, in that terms. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm a protector. I'm like, I'm going to protect our kids. I do have issues with, nobody stands up for these kids. Hey, listen, on the baseball field, if I got to argue with a few different people doing the wrong thing, I do it.
and I have a greater respect for that when coaching, from coaching, the 1 year of fall ball that I did. Because one of the things that I told the kids, and oh my God, I'm going to piss off so many parents if they hear this. Whenever I played a sport, and we're just going to kind of leave this on the field, until right now, until we start showing the game at 4:00 today. When I was coaching, one of the things that I told all the kids during the huddle and stuff like that, and it was always like this when I was a kid with my coaches. When you're on the field, it's you and your coach. It's you and your coach. That's it. If you signed your kid up or your kid signed up, let your coach your kid. And I'm serious. I even got crappy one day where I had everybody and all the parents were up on the top, and I'm like, and I said right out, I said, because one parent came to me and said, well, my kid doesn't play enough. And me and John Harden, who was the coach, said, well, at this level, they should be catching the ball. It just wasn't happening. So I'm sitting there. I looked around and I said, raise your hand if you're a baby. Raise your hand. I said, I don't see any babies here. Basically telling them, that if you're going to have mommy and daddy come down and, say this, then you're going to sit the bench. Let's work it out together. And I think, especially in Little League, I see so many parents yelling and screaming. Umpires don't even want to get in the game. They don't even want to show up. Coaches don't want to show up. How do you feel about that? Do you think it should be the coach and the team?
Yeah,
that's where it is.
So I should have brought a copy of it today, but I have a player-parent contract, which they have to all have signed before the first game, which states that there's no parent contact with the coach about playing time, period. And they have to sign that. And it's a full, the readout basically says that, your kids have to learn responsibility and self-accountability, and they have to fight for themselves and advocate for themselves. And I believe that it's an important part of growing up, because this is in the real world. Your parents run into your job for a raise for you. Are they, it's, I think that's the problem we've got, is too many, helicopter parents that feel like someone doesn't want the best for their kid. I can promise you that me and Tim, we do want the best for the kid, but at the same time, our job is to coach and teach baseball and to win games. I'm not here to listen, we've got a few guys on the team that probably won't play a lot, but they need to learn. If they're willing to accept that, they're going to be better baseball players, and hopefully they'll be here next year. But we don't have time to hold someone's hand. And I certainly, don't appreciate when parents think that you're out to get their kid. That's 100% not the case. Some of the kids I enjoyed more that, on a friendly level, that don't even really play because they're funny and they make me laugh, and I'm all about it, because that's what part of being on a team is, an experience. So, the parent thing has been a problem. It was last year. I believe this year, everybody knows me a little bit more, and they see how I operate. I'm approachable. If you want to come up and talk to me, just don't do it right after the game. Don't do it after I lost 5-3 to, East Lyme. That's tough. That's why I have in there. They got a 48-hour rule. If they want to speak to me, they got to wait 48 hours. So hopefully that they digest what's going on and they put it in perspective. And then if they feel they still need to have a problem, then come talk to me. But be prepared to get the truth back. Sometimes the truth actually hurts. People don't want the truth. That's why they don't like Trump, because he tells it how it is.
All right, we've gone political. So anyway,
I just think that today's environment. Look at the things that have happened at different sports events where there's been brawls.
Yeah,
look what happened in the NCAA double tournament. Girls were playing, and she cold-cocked her right in line when they were shaking hands. This was professional college sports. And she's arrested for battery or some goddamn thing. But look what's happening now in sports. Well, it's parents, it's kids, it's everything.
It is. But listen, I work in the prison system, Paul. Okay, so I've been a correction officer for 17 plus years. Okay, and we're a product of what we're allowing. So I can tell you that on our baseball field, the biggest thing I teach is respect, and the biggest. How can I say this? I want to give the other team respect and the other players respect, the coaches respect. However, when we don't get it back, we have to maintain our cool and we have to understand that there's a bigger picture here. So, I think it does start at home, obviously, but obviously then that's why I was hired. I'm hired to give these kids a positive experience and to hopefully teach them some proper manners. And I can promise you, we will never disrespect a player, a coach, nothing. But, parents got to keep that in perspective that they can't live through their kids.
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't believe in sportsmanship anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's big with me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a quick story. I know he's got to go, but last year we had 3 teams disrespect us. Okay. 2 of which were chanting things of, hey, this kid's from Griswold. This kid, he got a base hit on the opposite team, but he's from Griswold, but he went to a different school. And they got to chant to us that, this guy's from Griswold. Okay. Now what I do is I go to the coach and said, really? That's what you're going to promote? And another one is my famous school that I can't stand. They're bunting up 9-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning when they got their ace on the mound, and they're bunting for a base hit. Really? You want to disrespect us? So these are things that I try to teach my kids and say, hey, we don't run up the score. We have respect for other players. And, I think that's very important in this day and age. That someone needs to tell these kids how it is. And that's not the real world doesn't, that's not acceptable, So
Baseball today, 4 o'clock.
Show up. Let's go. Support these kids. We're out here. We want to win. We need a big home crowd. Let's go.
4 o'clock today.
Colin
Griswold
Mitchell.
High School. Colin Mitchell on the mound, taking on the Wheeler Lions. I ain't lying.
Come on, Paul. Show up.
I played at Wheeler.
Oh, there you go. Go
Wait,
see your
at
old
Wheeler
school.
or against Wheeler?
I played against Wheeler when I played for Norwich Tech.
Oh, where'd you play?
Outfield.
Oh, you played baseball?
Of course.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, played baseball
You're
in my
gonna,
first year of
you're gonna say
school.
something tough like rugby.
Hey, thanks for having us on here. And let's do this more frequently. Let's showcase some of the
Let's
kids.
do it.
Let's talk about some things,
All right. Scott Fryer says he'll be there, but only for a short time because he has a Board of Education meeting. Because I asked him to do play-by-play with me today, but he said no.
I have a
Can't
hat for
do
you,
it.
Scott.
Can't do
I think we upgrade his hat.
it. All right, Bill. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you, buddy.
Whoa! I gotta make sure I go ahead and screen capture that one right there. All right. All right. So today, 4 o'clock, Colin Mitchell on the hill for the Griswold Wolverines, and game number 1 against Wheeler today. So be there, be square. Thanks, Bill.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate
Appreciate it.
All right, Coach Lake. I see you out there, man. We'll see you at Griswold High School. So, all right, that's gonna wrap it up today. Paul turned the corner. You were Paul Grumpy Lash, and now all of a sudden he's smiling. Look at this. He's having a good day. So,
I don't know, Jim.
Interesting conversation.
Did you?
all right. So we'll be back tomorrow. Kathy will be joining us right here at SNS.
Yeah,
Have a
she's
good day,
never
everyone.
grumpy.
She is. Yeah.
You buy better.
Better with Burns.
Much better.
So much better with Burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better with Burns.
You buy better. Burns, you buy better.
Let's face it, most of our expenses are on the rise, but your insurance doesn't have to be one of them. The Burns Agency can quote your home, auto, business insurance with any of our 30-plus top-rated insurance companies. Let's be sure you're getting the best available pricing with quality service from experienced staff. Call, email, or visit us online to see what the Burns Agency can do for you. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.